recently, the backyard vegetable patch was merely a labor of love and relaxation. But now, with tightening household budgets, there is even more incentive to grow your own crop. Here is gardening guru Charlie Nardozzi with tips.
Everybody's trying to save money these days. One of the new old ways to save money is to grow your own vegetables. The National Gardening Association estimates there's over 40 million households growing vegetables in the country. You can invest $70 in a vegetable garden and you can yield over $600 worth of produce from that garden. Now, the two best ways to grow vegetables is in a raised bed or a container. Let me show you how to set up both. Now, your raised bed should be situated in a location where it gets 6 hours of direct sun a day, at least that much. It also should be close to the house, and it should be near a water source, so you don't have to drag hoses all over the yard to water it. Now, the dimensions should be 8 to 10 inches tall and about 3 to 4 feet wide, so you can reach into the center of it and never have to step on the raised bed and compact the soil. Also, you want to use rot-resistant woods like cedar and hemlock, composite woods, stone. You don't want to use railroad ties or pressure-treated lumber. They're treated with chemicals and they wouldn't do very good in your garden. Next, you want to decide what you want to put in the raised bed. And you should have a mix, 50-50, of compost and topsoil. That'll provide the perfect medium for growing your vegetables. Now, when you're growing your vegetables, you can plant in rows, of course, or you can plant them in a technique called interplanting. Now, interplanting is pretty cool because you take long-season, big vegetables, like a tomato, like this one here, and then around it, you'll plant shorter-season, smaller vegetables like lettuce. And I'm going to put some seeds in here of this lettuce. What happens is, as the lettuce is growing, it'll mature before the tomato gets too big to actually shade it out. The easiest way to garden is to buy transplants, but they're a little more expensive, so it's probably better to go with seeds. For $5, you can get a 6-pack of lettuce, but for $2 or $3, you can get a packet of seeds that'll give you 30 or 40 plants. Another way to maximize yields is to grow things vertically. For example, grow pole beans up on a teepee versus bush beans, or grow tomatoes in cages and ladders, so you can grow them a little bit closer together and maximize the yield in that small space. Now, another thing to do to really get low-maintenance garden going is to use hay mulch. You want to mulch your bed with hay, straw, or old grass clippings that weren't treated with herbicides, putting down a 2 to 4 inch thick layer. What it does is it conserves soil moisture, prevents weeds from growing, and it makes it look a lot nicer to have it in there. Now, another thing you could do is use plastic mulch on warm season crops like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, squash, and cucumbers. Red plastic is great for tomatoes. It increases yield by 20%. You simply lay it down, poke a hole in it, and plant your plant right through there. You'll see you'll get even more production out of that small raised bed. Now, if you have a situation where you don't have room for a raised bed, there's always container gardening. Let me show you how to set that one up. You can use containers to grow vegetables on your deck and patio to produce all kinds of great food for yourself in the summer. First, you got to decide on what kind of container you're going to use. You can use homemade containers like a 5-gallon bucket, an old shoe, even your kid's old plastic helmet. As long as you put some drainage holes in it and put some soil in it, you can grow a vegetable. I like to use more conventional things, and I especially love these self-watering containers. A lot of these will have a little door on them where you fill up the bottom reservoir with water. And then they have a false bottom where you put your soil and your plants. And through osmosis, the water comes up into the soil and actually waters the plants, so you can go away for the weekend and not have to worry about your plants. Now, once you have the pots, you'll have to get the soil. You want a container soil mix like this one that has a little compost in it. This is going to be the best kind of fertility for your container plants. Once you have the containers and the soil, you want to put some plants in. You want to put a tall plant like a pepper right in the center here, and that will take up a lot of space around the middle of the container. But then what you can do is use something that's cascading like cucumbers, planting them right around the edge. That way they'll go off the edge of the container, produce fruit, while the pepper is in the middle producing fruit. Once you have it all set up, you want to use a little fertilizer in it every 2 or 3 weeks to keep the fertility up high, keep it well watered, keep it in the full sun, and then once these plants have kind of gotten tired, you can rip them out and put more in. So by using raised beds and containers, you can cultivate savings in small spaces of your yard, growing beautiful vegetables like this tomato here that'll produce